Hello there, folks.
Hi there.
It's another episode of Würfel Cast,
It
episode
is.
109. If we'll encounter some lags due to StreamYard or something like that, I don't know. Just bear with us.
Yeah, it's a
It
little
might
weird
happen.
today.
All right. Anyway, we're back. It's been a while. Kyle's been traveling
Kyle has been traveling.
a lot.
Well, only one place, but it was for a long time.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's been a while since we had a standard episode of Würfel Cast. We had my top 50 games. We had Essen preview. That was a long time ago when we had this usual standard episode with topics and such.
It
segments.
happens, but here we are.
Yeah. So I think without further ado, let's just start. And as usual, the Watchers Babble.
Oh,
Just
yes,
wanna
indeed.
Babble about what I've watched or seen. What have you seen? Anyway, let me jump into this one. And
Squid Game Season 2 is coming.
Yeah, no, I've not watched that one yet because it's
not
not out.
Right.
Yeah, I think it should be out this year.
Yeah, relatively soon.
December, I think. Yeah, that was. Anyway, that would be awesome to watch, and I hope they catch the magic of the first season. No,
I'm sure they will not, but let's go ahead and see anyway.
Yeah, but anyway, my pick for the Watchers Babble is, of course, one of the most popular shows or animes or whatever, Arcane. And I watched the season 2, and I'm not gonna spoil anything. But it's based on the.
Is it Arcane?
If you haven't, yeah, based on Arcane. So if you have not watched that at all, it's great. It's amazing. The first season, at least, is amazing. League of Legends lore. It's the video game. And but what they made here is rather dramatic and epic. I understand there's a lot of lore in the video game, but the video game is all about, I don't know, just shooting each other and killing each other. That's it. But the world itself is vast and huge, and there's a lot of things going on. So they try to show you that in this one, and as far as I know, this is only the first project in the League of Legends world. There will be several of those, as I understand, with other not worlds, but maybe cities or whatever. It's this one is one particular city and heroes. I think the most the most well known figures of League of Legends game. But yeah, anyway, Arcane Season 2, I'm not going to spoil anything. I really enjoyed it. They started off really strong, but the last 2-3 episodes, it seemed like it should have been maybe 3 seasons, because they kind of, it felt rushed in the end. It felt like there's a lot of stuff going, like they do all this cool stuff, and then in the end they're like, we have to end it somehow, and we have to end the arc for that and that and that and that person. So let's just bump it all into the last 2 episodes, and I was not satisfied with the ending at all. It didn't make sense for me. It was weird. It was out of place, and yeah, I disliked the ending. The last 2 episodes, especially, I just couldn't care. But the first part of the season 2, I really enjoyed it, and it was cool. But yeah, overall, I still recommend watching this show because it's amazing. It's still. I mean, at least the first season. And I cried. I cried during season 2 as well.
Oh no.
And then I didn't cry. In the end, I was frustrated. And there is some explicit scenes. There's nothing. There's no nudity or anything like that. But there's some interesting scenes or a scene.
Uh-oh.
Or
Hope
one
this doesn't
particular
remind me of
scene.
my trip to the anime store in Japan.
There's some love there. There's some love there.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. It's nothing extraordinary. Anyway,
No, I've not
that's
watched
the,
it. I think somebody was watching it while I was here, while visiting me, and so I saw it being on, but I never actually sat down and watched it.
it's you should watch at least the first season, and it's the production is amazing.
Okay.
As I understand, they poured in like $200 million into this season 2 or something
Mm,
like that. I mean,
okay.
no one else has that money to put it into an anime, and
Hmm.
and yeah, it's like the
Well,
full-fledged film movie, like a huge movie budget.
very well. We will see.
All right, what's your pick?
All right. Since I'm not supposed to mention Drag Race, I have started watching, but not yet finished, at least the first season, I think it's the only available season, of A Man on the Inside.
I watched it.
So, you watched it?
It's
Oh,
amazing.
yes, it is. Well, at least the first half is. Basically, this is the same
Yeah,
creator and lots of the same cast as The Good Place, which was a fantastic show from a
yeah.
few years ago. This is Ted Danson of Cheers fame, and he's old, and his wife has passed away. It seems like due to some dementia issues that she had, and he's kind of bored. He has nothing to do, and there's a woman who is a private investigator, and she is trying to get into this retirement community, but she can't really get in there because she's not old enough to live there. And so she puts an ad in the newspaper for a research assistant. She's looking for an older man who has a phone. And Ted Danson, his character, answers the ad and becomes her sort of spy. And it's all, so far at least, a very low stakes spy. Somebody is missing a necklace. And so he goes into the retirement community and starts to bond and interact with the various members. He finds, an old guy who's bored and wants to play backgammon. He goes on some wild and raucous dates with some of the other older retired ladies. And so far, they're just having adventures. Of course, he doesn't tell his real daughter. He tells them that this private investigator is his daughter. And so when his real daughter tracks him down, she has to be his niece. And there's, all this relationship drama. But it's a comedy, and it's fairly lighthearted, at least so far. And it's a delightful show. It's not quite Good Place level, but it's very enjoyable.
Yeah, I would say this is comedy. There's a lot of comedy. There are some episodes or some storylines that are dramatic in a sense, like the retirement home itself. Dementia is a topic, and how people, how for example, the staff in the elderly home, how they cope with that. At least the manager,
Hmm.
she's amazing. She's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think, as well. She was the I don't remember the name. Anyway, it's I watched it in one sitting. It's only like 8 episodes or something
It's
like
not
that.
very much. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and it's
watched
like
about
thirty
half of
minute
it in one sitting.
episodes.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
it's basically just the, I don't know, if you watch an episode of One Piece, something like that. It's or you watch the episode of The Office. It's the episodes themselves are not long and lighthearted, but there's
Yep.
some serious topics as well through the prism of humor.
Hmm. Yeah, so far it's been good. I'll probably finish it in this next week. I've got some more travel coming up. So
Yeah,
there you have it.
yeah, you like it till the end. All right. here we are, and let's get to the topics that feature games, board games, and not TV series or video games or whatever. And here we go with recent plays. Tell me,
Recent
Kyle.
plays. I'm going first? All right. Well, my recent play combines two of everyone's favorite things, civilization and evolution. And that game is
No,
Civolution.
you forgot to mention that it's Stefan Feld, so
It is a Stefan Feld
you
game.
should be
And
warned that.
it really feels like a more complicated version of Castles of Burgundy. This way, it is not Castles of Burgundy. It's definitely its own game, but it feels like an advanced version of that. So, look, there's a theme that you're some sort of cosmic design student taking an exam, whatever. What you have is you see that board there? That's your the right hand side, the sort of right hand half of it, is your evolution, is your action board. So you're going to roll. You have 6 dice. You're going to roll them, and each turn you're going to take an action, and each of the actions, which are above and below those dice, requires 2 dice. So you want to do it. You're going to take the 2 dice you need, activate the module, do what it says, and then it's your next turn. You're going to keep going until you're out of dice and need to reset. And then you reset, and after a certain number of resets happens, that sort of ends the round. And then there's some various upkeep. You're doing lots of things. You've got cards, and you're going to fill in sort of the rows of that board that's kind of that cutout stair-step board. And as you fill them in, you're going to get bonuses. The cards are of different types and give you different things to do, different special abilities, lots of ways to kind of make your little civilization unique. You can instead ignore the cards and focus on moving around the map and discovering resources and buying and selling and trading and doing all of those things. There's special events that are going to happen that give bonuses. You're moving up on tracks because of course you are. And at the end of 4 rounds, the game's over and you're going to see who has the most points. So look, if you're looking at this to be a civilization game, you're going to be disappointed. If you're looking at this to be a game about evolution, you're going to be disappointed. If you're looking at this to be another episode in the Stefan Feld sort of design philosophy, and you enjoy that design philosophy and want to play around there, you're going to love this. I think, and I've only played it 5 times or so, but this may ultimately end up being Stefan Feld's best game. I think I like it slightly better than Castles of Burgundy, at least kind of my initial impressions. It is huge, right? I mean, it takes up this whole huge table that you see. And in fact, the rules tell you how much space you need to measure out before you set it up. It's long. There are lots of choices every turn. Learning the rules can be a bit of an ask, and it's going to be about halfway through the game before you realize what's going on. But your second play, you'll pick it right up. The icons are great. Turns are relatively fast. There's always something to do. There's always ways to sort of mitigate and plan for the future. And it's just such a fascinating game. It has a great solo, too. If you like solo, the solo is very easy to manage, very clean. It feels like it was designed as a part of the game from the beginning. It doesn't feel like it's sort of a bolted-on mode for lonely people. And I have played it with 1 player, 2 players, and 4 players. And it works really well at all those games, but it feels kind of different at each one because different things are prioritized. I really enjoyed this one. I was expecting to enjoy it because I like Stefan Feld games, but I have really taken a shine to this one.
Yeah, cool. I'm the one who
I suspect you have not played it.
Yeah, I'm the one
Oh, it has a
who
fantastic
is
rule book, too.
not the fan of Stefan Feld design philosophy. I would say I rather dislike his philosophy. I sometimes hate it, and so Yeah, I've not played many of his games. I've only played, I think, Aquasphere, which is Aquacaca.
That's
I
terrible.
hate this game wholeheartedly. And I played Merlin, which was okay, but it's
Was
like
it?
you're always eating the, I don't know, you sandpaper or something like that. It's like
I've
it
never tried that.
it hurts. I have not tried, but I imagine it hurts. It's dry. It's disgusting. That's something I get when I play. Is okay. It's not that bad. Merlin was not that bad. Castle Burgundy was not that bad, but I mean, like, I didn't like it, but I could appreciate just a bit. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like mechanisms work. That's it. There's nothing else in Steffenfeld games. It's just mechanisms that work. Okay. Where's the soul? Where's the story? No, you will not find it there. And I think you will not find it here as well. But for those who love
Oh,
Steffenfeld,
you will not find the story here. I'll just say that right now. This is a soup of rules that all come together really nicely, and if that's what you're looking for, you'll love it. If you're looking for the civilization or the evolution, you'll be very disappointed.
well, to rephrase that, isn't there an evolution? Because it's an evolution of it's the evolution of his previous games, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely his evolution as a game designer. I think it may have peaked. I don't think he'll do better than this one.
Yeah. All right. For mine, I played several games. So we had, so while you were traveling, I think that was yeah. We had this kind of a board game camp type thing at home, but we only played for 2 days and we didn't play that many games. And some of them were not so good, some of them were fine. And while we were playing, we had this board game camp. I got 2 games from Brian Lockhart. I got Creature Caravan and the new Emerald edition of Islebound. And
Okay.
it just came recently from Kickstarter or GameFound, whatever.
Hmm.
And the funny part is, so when we played Islebound, it was the last game we played. I think I was just a bit tired, and we learned the game from the rulebook, and like I didn't miss anything. I specified like stuff for the rules, like I taught the game correctly,
Good.
but
Oh, uh-oh.
uh,
That word's
the
never good.
others and myself, when we started playing, we for whatever reason forgot the rule that when you get the town through force or diplomacy, you get money, money equivalent to the power level of that particular island. And we forgot about that, and we were like, we're out of money, and the
Uh-oh.
economy is abysmal in this game. We're like, oh, it's so bad. It's like, what's going on? And then at some point, I'm like, we played like for 40 minutes until we're like, that's bad. Something's wrong. And I'm like, oh wait, we never
Forgot
took the
some of the
money
rules.
for yeah. Like, and it was such a terrible rule mistake that it kind of ruined the whole game. So we were tired, so we packed the game. We will play it next time, but it's on a side note. It's like it was just funny and frustrating, and don't play Islebound the wrong way. It will be bad.
I mean, many games will be if you.
Anyway, but what we played correctly was Creature Caravan. That's what I want to
Oh,
feature.
you
But
just
I mean,
slip
like,
in another game.
yeah, no, I mean, I want to talk about Creature Caravan. I want to talk about Creature Caravan, but basically, it's just they came together, and I just wanted to tell you about this funny incident where we ruined the game for ourselves. Anyway, Creature Caravan is a card game. It's a card game with movement on the board,
It's a card
but
game with.
dice.
There we go.
Yeah, just wait.
Don't
I'll get
forget
to that.
those.
I'll get to that. It's
Okay.
basically a tableau builder. You have a limited space for amount of cards you can get, and it's a, basically, yeah, it is a dice placement game. You roll dice. You put them on your initial player board because you don't have any cards, and you do basic actions. You move. You take resources, whatever else. You get more cards, and then you can play cards. Basically, as a free action, you buy them out and you play them, and they give you extra opportunities. They can give you some extra resources or extra whatever else boost to the action, or they can give you the dice placement slots,
Hmm.
and those slots are better usually. The action, of course, they're not usually, they're always better, and you're trying to kind of figure out this puzzle, what cards you need to play in your tableau in order to efficiently manage the whole engine in this game. And you are moving through this board with your caravan, and placing tents is basically mandatory. You basically show where you've been, and sometimes you step on the spots with zombies and you kind of fight the zombies in quotes,
Kind
and
of.
then yeah, you get resources where you can put them on cards and mitigate the number required uh, for placement of that die in order to activate the card, etc. And then you get points for how far you've reached the how far you've traveled, and
Hmm.
points for the tents and stuff, and then you get points for the cards basically. Whereas the most points is the winner. But yeah, it's just a puzzle. It's rather lighthearted, and the art is amazing. I have the deluxe edition, and there's basically two boards where you get a lot of points. It's like when you're fighting zombies, or you are uh,
Trading
there's
in
a
the market.
economy training. Yeah, you're trading or you're fighting zombies. So there's different levels of those. If you get enough power level and you fight the zombie on that particular level, then you put your token, your marker there, and then eventually this particular spot will be locked out of the game. Nobody else will be able to claim it. So you do want to wait and to try to reach a lot of power, and then do those unreachable spots on those boards, or you want to start with low and get a lot of tiny points. It's yeah, it's just a puzzle. It's rather abstract in a sense, and my overall verdict for that one is it's good,
It is.
but I just it just lacks something. The movement on the board feels stacked on. It's solitaire multiplayer. There's
Oh, very much.
no need to look into whatever else. Like, the only interaction is those two boards where you can lock out those points from others. Everything else is just, I don't care what you do. And if you play it at so it needs a lot of room. If you play it at 3 or 4 players, I would not play it at 4 players. But if you play it at
Well,
3 players, I maybe will glance over what one other player is doing, but I, you don't need to.
I think
I
it could
could
go up
care
to
less.
5.
Or 5. I don't know.
I
Yeah, I think.
wouldn't, but
Yeah, yeah. I thought maybe it's a good 2 player game, but
it's
then there
great two
will be
player.
not. There won't be enough. There won't be enough. This uh, what do I want to say? Competition on the on those two boards with the points. Will it be?
Yeah,
I
a
don't know.
little bit. They're less competitive, but it's sort of universal. I like it at 2, and I think it's okay at 3. I haven't tried it at more than that.
Yeah. So it's not a keeper for me. It's a good game, but it's not a keeper. It's a 7. It's a
Okay.
good game, but I just wanted just tiny bit more. It's just not enough for me.
Very well.
That's Creature Caravan, and that's recent plays.
It's Creature Caravan and Islebound.
And Islebound was just one story. I didn't tell you about.
I see. Very well.
Anyway, yeah, my brain is not working today. Let's get to another topic, which is crowdfunding.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
So tell me, Kyle. Tell me
All
more.
right. We may have the same one. Mine is
No.
Last Aurora. The Firelands.
Why did you pick that one?
Because
Why
I
didn't
like
you pick
Last
the
Aurora.
Lands of Evershade, which has 5 million already?
I mean, I thought about picking that one, but the one I'm most excited about right now is more for Last Aurora. Last Aurora is a game that
Me too.
I'm not sure anybody plays, but I enjoy.
We play.
We play it, and obviously, there's 1,300 other people that are interested in this and may want to play it. It looks like it's just more. So it's a second edition of Last Aurora with updated rules and some cleaned up cards and things, and that kind of is what
I'm
it
a
is.
backer. Oh.
Ah.
Well.
And then there's the new Firelands, which is going. Last Aurora is sort of running through the wintry waste, and the Firelands is going to be going through a fiery waste. And it's, I'm assuming, going to be largely the same. They have lots of sort of decision guides as they help you figure out which one you want. Basically, Frostlands is original Last Aurora, and Firelands is all new. And this is a great game. It's a weird game. It's really doesn't feel like anything else. You're sort of building up your engine, and your engine is a truck, and you're trying to anticipate various threats that are going to come at you, and you're managing your resources, and there's this, it's not worker placement, but I don't really know what else to call it, as you're selecting the action. I guess it's kind of an action selection
Action selection game, yeah.
You've got these two workers you're using, some workers you're using every round, and when you use them, they become unavailable for the next round unless you have something to sort of juice them up. And there's a few expansions for it. Some of them are more interesting than others, but this is a great chance. The game has been generally hard to find. I don't know that it's sold all that well, but apparently it's sold out, or at least enough that 1,300 people want to buy it for $132 or euros. Anyway, there's this very complicated, and I followed this decision tree of which one you want, of which of the various pledges. But I really enjoy Last Aurora. I think it's one that has gone under the radar a lot, and I think a lot of people will enjoy it. There is a chance to get any of the versions available now and showing up in a long time.
Yeah, one thing I hate about this one, it's I really wanted to back this one because I know it will be hard to get. I have my first edition Last Aurora. I have my Project Athena expansion, which was hard to find at some point, and even harder to find Frozen Steel expansion, which I found as well. This is the small expansion. I don't see them talking about Frozen Steel expansion, and I'm not sure will the Frozen Steel expansion. It's not. There's Athena Reboot expansion.
Oh.
Which is Project Athena, which was extra maps, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really know if Frozen Steel expansion will be. Oh, I see. So old expansion. So probably you can just probably Frozen Steel is just how it is. You don't need to change anything about it because it was just more cards. It was some story elements. It was asymmetric powers. So, yeah, that was my pick as well. Yeah, April 2026. Oh, I'm
April
that's
2026.
That's like, more than what are they doing? What are they doing? Why do they need 1.5 years. Sorry, not 1.5.
Yeah, pretty almost.
Yeah, to produce that one, which is mostly cardboard. It's not like, okay, there's a miniature set, but it's reprint of the game that they already had. And so they have the upgrade pack. That's cool. And yeah,
It's cool adjacent, right? They're upgrading most of the things. But
one thing is that one thing is that, as I understand, Firelands is like you're not chasing the ship anymore. What the caveat I have, like the problem I have with Last Aurora, and I don't really like it. The combat is a bit tacked on. Maybe they'll change that a bit or make it better. The other thing is that when you get points, you don't feel like you're really getting points. There's just
you
too
get like
few.
3 in the game.
Yeah, it's like too few spots where you can get points, and you never reach the ship Aurora. You never reach that. Like that thing, they can repair that in the game. And the Firelands, as I understand, is the you don't chase after whatever. Like why I'm interested in Firelands, you don't need to chase the ship.
Okay.
You just probably go through the map and then you collect whatever cards, points, and try to survive. But yeah, because I don't see any components here that, except maybe this grenade, I don't see any components that are like the ship or the truck.
You don't
want
to chase a grenade.
The grenade chases you. And yeah, Athena Reboot is a Project Athena expansion. So I had to get that one as well. And I don't know, I'll just maybe look at the FAQ or ask him in the comments, what about the Frozen Steel expansion and how can I implement it into... And I had the usual edition. I didn't have the miniatures edition. So
I eventually got the miniatures.
Separately?
Yeah, I found them at a store one time, and I said, "Okay, I'll pick these up."
But the cool thing about the guide that they have for pledges is that if you have the old one, then you have new one. Like for example, if you have the old plastic miniatures box, you don't need to buy the new one. It says you just buy the 8 contamination food tokens, which are an add-on. So they've figured everything out. What you need, if you have this, you don't have that. And you can see the Fireland features. You have contaminated food, the mountain shortcut, new deck, asymmetric cruise, which is the Frozen Steel module. That's interesting. So I don't really understand if... Yeah, whatever. We'll see. Yeah. Anyway, it's not a popular project. You can see it's not 5 million, but I mean...
But hey, well, maybe that's why they're taking so long to produce.
maybe they'll be more when they come out. Let's say when the game comes out in 2027 or 2032, whatever. There will be delays as well, you know. And maybe when it comes out, it will become more popular because of this new edition. We'll see. It's a unique game, as you said.
Yeah, in the FAQs I was just checking, it does talk about Frozen Steel. It says 2 of the modules won't work with the new stuff. So.
Just 2 modules.
But the asymmetric cards and the story parts will.
Oh, that's fine because the other modules.
It's the new enemies that won't work.
I don't care about those new. I never played. I played with the story cards and I played with the asymmetric powers. So that's what I played with.
Well, those apparently will still work.
I see. Cool. Let's get to another topic, which is buy, try, goodbye.
All right.
So shoot me.
These games. So since we're talking about the Dice Tower Cruise, and the Dice Tower Cruise is often a time when you try new games, I thought of some new games that I don't think you've had a chance to play that you could use the Dice Tower, you might experience on the Dice Tower Cruise. So, our first game is a game, and these are all relatively recent games this time. The first one is a game that I have some love for, And that is a game that I think it's going to fly under the radar, but really feels like kind of a special game to me. And that is the game Stevens with a PH.
Stevens.
Yes, there you go. So this is a game about a glass factory, which, okay,
Oh.
theme-wise, there's nothing there. But you are, you're sort of, it's not semi-cooperative, but you are kind of interacting
Oh.
a lot as you, as you produce items for this glass factory. And I will warn you, it's not really a looker.
Yeah.
Um, but what you're doing is you're going to be, playing cards to one side of the board or the other, and when you play them, it's going to activate everybody's income. And that's kind of how this thing works. When you do something, it's going to activate it for everybody. And so you're trying to balance, how you play things, and then as you take the resources which you need, you're going to sort of advance the end of the round. And so, you're kind of not all working together, but if you want, this is definitely not a multiplayer solitaire game. There's not any take that in it. It's just you're always very invested in what other people are doing because it's going to affect directly what you have access to and what's available. Meanwhile, you're building your own little tableau on the sides of your board that you can activate. There's this resource of environmental damage that you can spend and activate these various other production modules that you can then get resources that you cannot keep, but you can use to sort of satisfy other opportunities, and you'll put them back into the pot for people to take in the next round for using. It's a game that, again, it's not really a looker. I don't know that it stands out well in the crowd, but I think it's one that when people play, they're really going to find is an interesting game that doesn't feel like anything else. And that is Stevens.
You always try to show me 50 Shades of Grey. I mean,
This one's more 50 Shades of Light Green.
brown, gray, green. It's always the same.
Okay.
It's all the same. Anyway,
Well,
yeah.
let's move on to the next game in our list, and the next game that you might try is a game that I have a lot of love for, and that is the game Primal: The Awakening. Primal: The Awakening is part of the Dice Tower library. I know that because I've played their copy a few times. This is one of my most played games of the year. It is a cooperative game, not really a campaign, but you are working together to sort of take down a monster. And there are about, well, in my version, there's about 30 monsters in the box. In the Dice Tower Library version, I think there's about 6. But that's enough for the cruise. They just didn't need to have everything, and I understand that. But you're working together, playing cards, making combos, sort of, I play this card, it lets me play this one, it lets me play this one, and I do a huge sweep of damage to the monster, and then the monster reacts to me in turns, and it breathes fire everywhere, and that might not be great. And you're working together, all the different monsters feel different. It's very cooperative and gives everybody a real chance to shine and feel like a hero. It is definitely high on the complexity level, so it's one that's best learned from somebody who already knows how to play it. But it's a great game, even though it's not exactly small.
Yeah.
But that's another one that might be on the Dice Tower cruise that you might experience there. And the third one we have is SETI, which is a game about searching the skies for aliens. What it really is a game about playing cards, and you've got a huge old stack of cards that are all different, and you are playing them, and you're either going to be using them for their ability. They have a little tiny ability in the corner. You can play them for their main effect. You can use them potentially as a resource to get more income, and you're doing different actions every turn. Your turns are really fast. You're going to be scanning the skies, looking for traces of alien life, or you're going to be putting cards in front of you to have their special abilities and get bonuses in contract fulfillment, or you're going to be moving your probe around the solar system, trying to eventually land on these planets so that you can get points. This is, it's a Euro game, but the theme is definitely there. Everything you're doing is sort of in service of the theme. And you'll find 2 alien life forms by the end of the game. There's only 5 that come in the box. There need to be about 15. That's my only real complaint with it. But it's a great game that's really very engaging and enjoyable and colorful. So it's not 50 Shades of Brown. It's lots of colors. So those are three
Yeah.
games you might experience on the Dice Tower Cruise. Which one are you just going to buy? Which are you going to try? And which are you just going to, I think I already know, say goodbye
Yeah.
to without even looking?
Yeah. Look, it's gonna be easy because let's start with the buy because
Because you already bought
I,
one of them.
accidentally I just clicked and it just arrived and I don't know anything about that, but SETI's here. I have my copy and
Oh.
you know it's CGE. Yeah, SETI. I got SETI. Yeah, so it's gonna be a buy because I'm interested because I bought it. You know, yeah, it's I just with CGE every one of their Euro games that they put out is colorful, is thematic in a sense. You know, even those that I didn't keep. You know, when I think about going back to Alchemists, which was heavy and colorful and thematic and had innovation with this app mechanisms. Then we had the Diablo clone type
Oh, yeah,
Europe.
yeah, I like that one now.
I
I
don't
can't ever remember what
remember
it was called. I have it up
Diablo
here.
game.
No, it's not what it was called. Why can't I can't see it right
Yeah,
now? It's over there somewhere.
something. I don't know. Anyway, so there's that Diablo game. There's that shooting game, the first person shooter
Adrenaline.
adrenaline game. So everything they do is has this kind of a interesting and like of course Tolkien I have not played through the ages. I played it's like every one of their games. Last Ruins of Arnak I love. You know
Oh,
that
really? I didn't know that.
every one of their games is a looker, is a Euro game with filled with a lot of theme, except Pulsar. I hate it. Okay, Dungeon Pets, Dungeon Lords. Like we need to find it. Good Nahor I have not played.
I haven't played it before
Adrenaline.
either.
Oh, and the Prodigals Club and whatever else. Sanctum. Yeah,
Mhm.
Sanctum.
Sanctum.
And
There we go.
Sanctum. Yeah, and Starship Captains I played. So I played a lot of their Euro games, and all of them are great and colorful. So that's why. Sorry for the long babble, but it's a buy because of a lot of previous good encounters with their Euro games. So I'm sure it's gonna be great. For the try, look, I'm not a boss battle or boss battler type gamer, but you're talking about this primal awakening every video we do together, so
Pretty
I just have to
fantastic.
try it at some point. Yeah, I just have to try
Also, if
it.
you try it, you don't have to pay money for it.
Oh, I see. You'll give me your copy. That's thank
No,
you.
but you can try it for free.
True.
My copy is nicely painted by someone you know.
Yeah, cool. And the goodbye, of course, goes to this 50 Shades of Grey
Stevens?
game. Yeah. Or like,
Oh, that makes me sad.
what was the meme about the Steven? Like the dog.
Huh?
Steven. You don't know the meme?
No,
Uh,
of course not.
Steven.
Do I ever?
This dog. Steven.
Okay.
It's a yeah, it's a meme. Steven. So Stevens is
Saying goodbye to
the
it without
goodbye.
even looking.
The goodbye.
I'm
Well,
shocked.
even looking at that, yeah, I'm. Look, it might be a good game, and I might still try it, but you know, from those three, uh,
I will
Steven
say it
skills
doesn't make the best first impression. Um,
or a second.
but
Anyway,
it is something you're likely to encounter if you want to on the Dice Tower Cruise.
yeah, true that. Anyway, let's get to the topic of the day, and just want to talk about the upcoming, though I thought we will talk about this in December, though it's
It
December
is
already,
December.
but I mean, like closer to the Dicer Cruise, but maybe we'll get, the end of the year episode will probably be about some end of the year highlights.
Probably.
And we will talk about preparing for Dicer Cruise today. Now, I just want to talk about what experience we had before, what to expect. If you're from Europe, it's a bit harder to get to the cruise. Um, I'm traveling from Estonia. It's the dates are. I
So
mean, like
wicked dates.
who chooses that? I mean, like it's from 5th of January till 13th or something like that. It's
12.
like 7 nights or
Mm-hmm.
7 nights. Um, and it's a longer one. At first, I remember it was like 4 nights. Now it's 7 nights.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we do
It's
longer
growing.
cruises, but it's the beginning of January. The tickets to get to US are very expensive. I mean, like going there is twice as expensive as returning, because the return dates, if I return on, like, I remember 15th or 16th, when I something like that, when I put the return date, the prices were half of the
Mm.
beginning of January. And if it would be in February, it would be much cheaper. So I
Well, it
don't
used to be
understand
in
what they.
December back in the day.
Yeah, I like it more in February, because it's
I do too.
holidays and everything like that. It's like just beginning of January. Anyway,
It is.
so
It is a rough. It's a rough set of dates. I really wish it were a week or two later because my December I'm going somewhere every week for work, and then there's Christmas and I'm going out to see my family, and then it's the cruise. I mean,
yeah, but I'm gonna I'm gonna be going. So I'm starting from 3rd of January
hmm
and getting to US. It's -7 hours, so it's basically it is a 24-hour trip for me to get to Atlanta. I'm going through Copenhagen
hmm
straight to Atlanta, which
yep,
which was cheapest this time for
great.
some reason. But yeah, I'm going through Stockholm and Atlanta. There will be some layover
You're going
time.
through Stockholm, Copenhagen.
Stockholm and Copenhagen.
Oh,
I have
okay.
two. Yeah, yeah, to Stockholm, then to Copenhagen, then to Atlanta. I mean, like it's the same. If it would be like when I usually went to Finland, then I went to Newark, and then I went to
Oh,
Atlanta.
okay.
It's
Okay.
always the same amount of stops. The only problem is when I'm getting back, the layover time from in Stockholm is like 40 or 50 minutes. Like
Oh,
if the plane is delayed, then whoopsie.
then you might have to take the boat.
No, I'm sure they're gonna just put me on another
Yeah, they
plane.
will. Hmm
So, but yeah, preparing for that. I'm, it's gonna be sunny there. It's gonna
It
be a lot
will.
of games, so you don't need to bring any of your games, except if you have a extremely rare game that they don't have in the library. But look, Dice Tower has, I don't know how many, like a ton of games in the library,
They have a
and
lot of
most of them
games.
are.
There's thousands there.
Yeah, there's a lot of new releases, so don't worry, you will always get to play some new releases. And yeah, I might bring one game with me. I don't know if I can look at what they have in the library. Is there a
Yeah,
link
I
or
think
something?
there is. I don't know where it is off the top of my head, but they have. There's a link where you can see the library.
Okay, because I think the only game I would bring is, like, last time I brought Subterra because nobody had it, and this time I thought of bringing Seize the Bean because you
hmm
have not played it, and I want to show it to you. It's
It
a
might
it's
be in
a
the
it's a nice.
library.
Yeah, I need to check if it's in the library. Then it's fine. Yeah. Because I have my super deluxe copy
Oh.
with my card in it.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I'm famous now. No, okay. It's a good game. It's a good but under the radar game. Anyway, yeah. Otherwise, just packing some clothes, not winter clothes, and just going.
Yeah,
And I'll be at your place, and then the next day we'll get to Miami and
that's right. And
get on
the
the cruise.
others, yeah. So our group is always 4 people, just sort of for the background. Although I guess this year we're technically 6, because Ashley and her husband are coming. Um,
Oh,
uh, so it's you and me and Victor, the sort of stalwart 3. Ashley and her husband. Ashley, my sister, went with us last year and had a good time and decided to invite her husband. So she is coming. And then I always have a 4th person who, because it's the tickets for 4 people. So there's a sort of revolving 4th person that has been lots of different people over the over the many cruises. One person every time.
it was
And
reserved the
this,
cabin for 4. Yeah,
yeah.
like
And then
two
this
a
one
joint.
is my friend Casper from Estonia, whom you met at Eurovision time. He was there with me. We went to lunch together. Um,
Yeah, I don't
there was
remember that
that
face.
Finnish person, and then there was the one who sat next to me, who is he's the Estonian Tammy Wynette fan. Um,
I see. I see.
so so he and Victor are flying directly to Miami.
Okay. Yeah. Why not? I mean, uh,
Well, it just depends on when people can get there. Victor, I think, is going through Warsaw, and Casper, I don't know where he's going through, but he's coming to
it
Miami.
just when I'm coming, it's gonna be cold here, so I'm coming with some clothes, and then I can unload some stuff at your place, and then you know, that's good to have a place to store some stuff while I'm on the cruise, and then I'll come back, and take it with me. And yeah, that's how it is. It's 4 of us. One person is always ever changing. The one spot is ever changing,
Mm-hmm.
and when you get there, before that, you have to check in for the cruise. There's the app, Royal Caribbean app, where you can check in, and then the day before, you have to uh, insert the medical information, something like that.
You just answer if you're sick. Um,
Yeah, and you always say no.
yeah, you do.
That's how I do.
Um,
You always say no. Whatever. If you're really
there's
sick,
sometimes a difference between a correct answer and a true answer. Um,
yes, yeah, true that. And there will be so there will be that check-in time as well, and there are different groups. And I got it almost the same time. Like you got it 12 p.m. I got it 12:30.
yeah, the
So
earlier
it's half an
times
hour.
go quickly. Since we're staying in Miami the night before, we'll all be there, and I think you always end up getting about a half an hour check-in time after mine. I need to follow up with Ashley and see what she's doing. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, last year's we just went together, and nothing really. There was no
yep.
difference.
No, it doesn't matter. You just get on the ship and you're ready to go. Now, you talked about bringing games. My philosophy on bringing games has changed over the years. I used to bring a big bag full of games, right? And my theory has always been, if there's a game I want to play, I'll bring it. If it's there, even better, but, I'll have my copy. The last 2 cruises, I've not brought more than maybe one game. And that's always been a game that I know that I'll want to play. If there's something I absolutely know I want to play or want to play lots and lots of times, bring my own copy. But the library, I've become convinced over the years that the library is good enough that I don't need to supplement it really. Back in the day, the year that Wingspan came out, mine was one of 2 copies on the cruise, and
Yeah.
so it got played a lot. Same thing with Ark Nova, right? It just if there's a game that's hot and I know I want to play it and I want to play it a lot of times, I probably should bring it. I don't know what it'll be this year. I don't know how available things like SETI will be. I'm not bringing my Primal, that's for sure. Uh,
Yeah.
um, but I might bring one. The last night the library is closed anyway, so that's a good night to have one game, just so you have something to do that last night. But yeah, I don't need to bring a lot.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't need to bring because first of all, it's extra stuff to bring from Estonia. Except if they don't have Sister Bean, I'll bring Sister Bean. And it's when you say the last night, we can always play a game, even if the library is closed. You always bring silver that we play at the airport.
Yep.
While we're waiting.
This year we might not play it at the airport while waiting, unless we want to play it, because we're all going to be there the night before.
Oh,
you and I can play it at the airport, because we're flying down together.
Anyway, it's just a tradition that we had, a small game at the airport, and I remember you playing Ark Nova at the airport. You found some kind of a table, and you managed to somehow fit it up, fit it on the table.
That was when we were still cruising out of Fort Lauderdale, and they had tables at the airport. They were very small tables, but Victor and I put several of them together and played Ark Nova, which is a huge game.
We had
lots of time.
We had lots of time, and it's how it is. If you're traveling from Europe, I don't know about other countries. I don't know if all the countries. I think it's a European Union thing. But you don't need a visa. You just need to do an ESTA. ESTA is a 2-year visa-like thing. It gives you opportunity to visit US for up to 30 days.
90 days.
I remember correct. 90? I think it was 30. But anyway,
no, it's not. Trust me.
It's okay. It's enough to it's enough for the cruise, and it costs
definitely because the cruise is 7 days.
The cost went up, but it's I don't know, maybe $15 or $17. I mean, $15 for visa type thing. I know I just go with ESTA and I'm all good. And there's no more that COVID situation, so I don't need to bring some extra stuff with me. Yeah, and then on the cruise, we just go there, we get to the ship, and there's that usual a lot of people getting in, and some people are already hungry, so they go for food, like Victor and maybe me as well. And in the evening, we sail away, and there's always that huge cake with a welcoming cake.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's never very good.
And the first night or first day on the ship, we always get our badges from the dice tower. They're greeting us and getting t-shirts, badges, whatever. And so that's that. And then we just play games, and and I think why I said preparing for the Dicer cruise is that I'm thinking about what games should I play there. I should make a list and try to play the games. And if you have any suggestions, tell me.
I gave you 3.
But I mean, outside of these, because I don't think I'm gonna use my time to play SETI because I have it at home and I hope to play it before. So
I mean, I suspect that might be one that I end up teaching a lot, just because I think it will be fairly popular. It's still not widely available in the U.S.
Then I maybe play it just to learn it from.
I mean,
others.
It's a good chance to learn games, regardless. So I mean, we both approach games differently, right? My philosophy is if I want to play a game, I pretty much know that I'm going to have to learn it and have to teach it to others. I'm happy to have somebody teach me a game, but it's rare. I tend to be sort of the designated game teacher.
Me too.
So
always.
So for me, oftentimes I will approach an event like the Dice Tower Cruise of rather than making a list of the games I want to play. Sometimes I take that in the moment. I will look at it as, okay, I want to be able to teach these 5 or 6 games. So maybe I want to be up on the rules of these 5 or 6 games so that if somebody is wanting to play, I can say, great, let's go. I'll teach you. I know these rules. I'm ready to go. I don't know that I'm, an expert teacher, but I have my methods down. And oftentimes, I'm not always the most outgoing, right, shockingly, but I don't necessarily want to go and just start a conversation with people. But it's easier for me if I sit down with a game at a table and one of those players wanted flags, that is an easy invitation for me to interact with people because I'll have a game ready to go, and all I really need is some people to fill those other seats, and it's a great way for sort of me to meet people. Um, and that's sort of how I approach social interaction. So I am going to be ready to go on SETI. I'm going to be ready to go on Galileo Galilei. I'll be ready to go on Stevens. I'll be ready to go on Primal. I'll be ready to go on Civolution. And but that's sort of part of my prep. Last year, I had to get my teach ready for what was that game? For Voidfall. Because it's a game I knew I would teach, and it's a game that really needs to be taught well, or else it will be a miserable experience. So that's one of the things I do in preparation for the Dice Tower Cruise or the Dice Tower Retreat. Both of those. Those are the two that I kind of make sure I'm up on my rules for a few games so that I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I'm different in the sense that I don't play that many games, especially new games. I don't buy that many games as you do. In order for me to, for example, when we do a list of games of 2024, that's my opportunity to play all of these cool games that I will not be able to play here in Estonia, and to then do the list. It's one of my approaches is just to fill the blanks in my list of unplayed 2024 games or 2023 games, same each year. So, and I'm always looking at more popular games that got good grades, not bad grades. Because I will not be able to play everything anyway. Some of them will be disappointments. Some of them will be great games. I definitely want to try Galileo Galilei because it's the same designer as SETI. So I want to try SETI and Galileo Galilei and see. And it's the themes are a bit similar. Looking at the sky, it's like
and then he has a third game about tea.
Look, tea is good. And some people predict cosmic future based on the tea bags. Well, I don't know, whatever.
I think
or coffee.
That's a tangential connection. It is the tea leaves.
Tea leaves, or whatever. Yeah. Anyway,
that designer, he came out of nowhere, but he's had a great year.
So this is if you're going to the cruise, so you should definitely try that new designer's games, SETI, Galileo Galilei, etc. But then I'm thinking, I'm not sure. I've not been following this year's trends too much. What are the other games? What else is there that I should try?
Well, all right. So let's think. We have SETI and Galileo, Civolution.
Nope.
Nope. Not that one. I'm kind of wondering because I don't know. Well, we can kind of look at the Board Game Geek hotness. That's usually a good clue. I haven't done my end of the year. Arcs might be one to try. Unconscious Mind might be one to try.
Unconscious Mind, yes, that's the one.
Andromeda's
Arcs,
Edge.
I'm not sure. Yes.
I'm not Arcs' biggest defender. I'll just tell you that. I've not yet had a great game of it.
It's the same design as Root and etc. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, and it's
maybe I'll try
Andromeda's Edge. You might want to try. Oh, good, Revive's on the list.
One thing I wanna try.
We should play Hegemony.
Yeah, why not?
That might be a good time to try that.
So maybe that will be the year when I try Dune Imperium.
Oh, yeah, they definitely have that.
I've never played it.
No,
and Slay the Spire should be something I should try. Maybe Nucleum. I've not tried.
You didn't play Nucleum with us last year?
No, I didn't. I think I played something else, and then sometimes we
go off the
course, and yeah. Anyway, Nucleum is something that if somebody teaches me, I'll play. So it's probably those heavier games that I need to. That I don't then have to learn myself. That would be great. So yeah, okay, that's the list already. And to be honest, I try to play some older games and teach games myself, like my favorite games. Like I don't know what did I show last year. Last year
Oh,
I
you
played.
always dust off Anachrony. You always find a way to coerce someone into playing Barrage. You always
Barrage? No, I've never did
you
Barrage.
tried it the first time on the cruise, and I know
I
you
tried it, but I
buttonholed
never.
Victor at least once.
Maybe it was a long time ago. No, I don't have Barrage and I don't play it. But um, First in Flight is something that's easy to teach.
Oh, that's one of
and
yours. Yep.
I like it.
I don't.
I'll play First Rat if somebody wants me to.
That's a cruise game, and that's also something I try and do.
And
Is it sometimes I have games that I've wanted to play for a while, and I will like I learned the Great Wall at the Dice Tower Retreat, which is almost the same as the cruise. It's just without the food. Um, and so sometimes if I'll find a game like that I've just always wanted to play and never had somebody that's been willing to, that's a good time to try it.
yeah. I mean, like I would teach some of my favorite Empires. I would definitely teach Age of Discovery. I would play if that couple comes back. I would definitely this particular couple and I have them on my friends list on Facebook. That we play Deep Rock Galactic with them. I want to play more
Okay.
of that. And if I don't know if it's been shipped already. Maybe they'll have the expansions for Deep Rock Galactic, which
Maybe. I mean,
is not.
I have mine already, so I know they've been shipped.
I didn't back it at that time,
Oh.
and they're not available right now. But I mean, I'll buy them when they come back to in stock in retail, whatever. And
You should
Distilled
try
is
Endeavor
something.
Deep Sea if it's there.
I don't know. I kind of enjoy not the Deep Sea,
Other
the
Endeavor?
Endeavor. Yeah,
Deep
Endeavor.
Sail?
But then I'm like, I don't know. It's just so abstract. So no, I wasn't the biggest fan of Endeavor.
Ah,
Maybe Deep Sea is
okay.
fine. Yeah, I would definitely teach Last Aurora if it's there
Yeah, that
and
one
Distilled.
sometimes I'm. No,
Yeah, yeah,
Distilled's always there. Um,
yeah. So something like that. Expeditions I would play because nobody wants to play it with me. I don't want to play it with the expansion. Yeah, that's. I always like to teach Stockpile if able. I love this
of
game.
course.
So there are some older games and some newer games. So the newer games to fill my list, and older games to, if you always play new games and you're there for 7 nights, like it's tiring. To
Is it?
always learn something new. I mean, in a sense, like sometimes you want something familiar. It's like I'm gonna try
Fair
this
enough.
food. I'm gonna try this food, and then sometimes I just want those quesadillas because they're so great. You know, all of that.
Okay.
Anyway, we've been babbling a lot, and there's
Yeah.
not much to say about preparing. It's just how we usually do. And what I would encourage is to always take some cash with you, just in case. Just in case you
Okay.
go out in the ports and
Oh.
then
In case
No,
you
don't.
go out.
That's Kyle. No, everybody goes out except Kyle. I'm not. Last year and previous year, I wasn't going out a lot. I mean, like some ports that we've seen already several times. I'm like, and it's hot, and I don't like sun. I'm not a person. I'm not a summer
Well,
beaches person.
you can
Victor
tell by
is
my
opposite.
complexion that I get a lot of sun. Um,
Yes, me too. Victor is opposite. Victor always wants to, like, the first few times I was on the cruise, Victor always tried to drag me on to the beach, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna sit there and watch you swim, whatever, and then let's
naked.
go back. No.
I
I
mean,
like to explore.
I've never been to Puerto Rico, so I might get off and look around for a little while there.
Me too. Yes, that's something
but-
I would do. Based of
We
the.
can play Puerto Rico there.
Oh, there will be those people. I mean, like, those people.
Or will you be one of them?
No,
Oh, okay. Puerto Rico's good.
no. But you should, if you go to cruise, you should go out. You should explore if you've
Yeah, I
never
mean,
been.
you should do what you want, right? That's the point of it. Is it's a good way to have somebody who's really into games also take a family member who might be less so, and have them sort of all have a good time.
There's a lot
So
of stuff
like,
going on the cruise as well, like on the
yeah,
ship.
like Casper, I think he'll join us for games some of the time, but I suspect he might also sit by the pool or or do
Eat.
something else. Yeah, and Ashley's husband Kyle isn't really a gamer, or even Ashley. I mean, Ashley played a lot of games with us, but she wasn't there the whole time, and so they'll sort of come in when they want to when they want to play a game. They'll know where to find me, and when they want to do something else, they'll do something else, and that's great. They can have a good time. I don't have to worry about making sure they have a good time, which is why it's nice for me.
Yeah,
I say, here's a wide menu of things you can do and have a great time. Go forth and do. I'll be right here. You can find me.
yeah. And one thing I changed in my kind of a schedule, the habit of eating in a buffet has faded away in the evenings. I kind of like this. It's you're waiting for a longer period of time when you go to the restaurant, but I kind of like this. It's relaxing in a sense
Mm,
because when you go
I'm
to the
not sold.
buffet, because you go to the buffet, like, oh, we want to play a game, so let's go to we want to play a game. After that, have more time to play a game, but we have a lot of time. Like when it was 4 nights or something like that. Now it's 7 nights. We have a ton of time to play games. So last year, for example, I always went to the restaurant to eat, and I sometimes sit at different tables, and so that's how we found L, for example, and L and Dar.
Hmm.
That
I
these
assume they're
two
coming.
these two amazing people. I'm sure they will. So we found new friends through just sitting down and eating, and oh no, we played something. We started playing a game, something like that, and then
I
then
think you
we
might have found them by sitting down and drinking. Um,
no, that was later. That was later. They encouraged the drinking. Anyway, that was that only time. Anyway, yeah, it's last year I was with Sam Healy's family, so they
mhm.
invited me to their table, and it's just like we have our own tables, but if somebody doesn't come and there's a free spot, then like I'm sure like you always sit at that same table that was for you. Usually, I mean, like you,
The
Victor,
one
and
time I go. Um, because I'm there to play games, and the food is a nice luxury, and the fact that I can go upstairs, quickly eat, and then get back to gaming, that I see as a plus. Whereas,
yeah,
some people like the ritual of going up and sitting down and waiting for an hour for somebody to bring them the food that they could have gotten at the buffet themselves. And okay, that's something people like to do. I'm there for the games.
yeah. For me, it's socializing. When you go to a restaurant,
Hmm.
like for example, I sat down with Sam Healy and his family. Like it was the way to sit down and talk. Because when we play games, like I'm not gonna go just sit next to him while he's playing. Like, hello, can we talk? This is the moment where I
Mm,
can socialize with other people who I see once a year, once every 5 years, whatever. Like who I've not seen for a long time. That's my only way to talk to those people, and I like to talk to people. So like I'll always be with you as well. I come before the cruise. I stay after the cruise like 2 days. So there's that.
yeah,
So we'll always
and
talk with
that's
you.
and that's
Yeah.
sort of an interesting thing is that you and I play very few games together on the cruise. It's sort of, we'll play one or two now and then, but we kind of go our separate ways, and that's fine.
Because
Whereas
you
I play
usually,
with Victor all the time.
yeah, because Victor plays everything, and I'm more picky with
You're more picky.
games, and we have different tastes. You
We
love
do.
Feld, I hate Fate.
And you want to play certain games, or you want to play games with a lot of different people, and I'm there just to play the games with whoever wants to play them with me.
Yeah, no. Also playing people with playing games with different. Like, I always find somebody new. I just sit down, I use the flags, and then that's how I find new people, and we go separate ways. There's one thing that you always start teaching particular games, like for example, Ark Nova was the one. Then there was that Voidfall, and then half of the cruise you're just doing those games, and that's how it is. That's why sometimes we don't cross.
And you don't necessarily want to play the same game 7 or 8 times.
Yeah, as I said, for me, the number one thing is to fill the blanks in the 2024 list. So for me, it's really important to play a lot of games that I have not played from this year, and of course play maybe a few games that I know. But it's always like in the evening when I'm tired, I don't want to learn a new game. Then I'm like, okay, let's play this game. If you're not opposed, yeah, I hope it's gonna be great. And I'm not hoping. I know it's gonna be great.
It'll be fantastic. It'll be fun. I'm excited about it. And by this point, I mean, I've gone on, I think the first Dice Tower cruise was in 2015. There was one that was skipped, but, because it didn't happen. But there's been a Dice Tower cruise pretty much every year since then. So by this point, I know a lot of people. There's not that many every cruisers anymore, right? It's a group that'll only ever get smaller. But there are a lot of people that have been coming for a long time. Or for me, because I go to the retreat also, there are people that I see at the retreat, or that I see at Dice Tower West if I go, or that I sort of see at a couple of these events. And so since I know them, it's like seeing, old friends, or like, Joe from All Play.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I met him at the Dice Tower retreat playing a game. I didn't know he was Joe from All Play at that time. But, because of that, we have lots of shared experiences, and I'll usually teach him, Voidfall or something. Something like that.
True that. So you meet some people who you play with and had a good time. And then I'm probably going to see those people again. I hope so. And then I'm going to play more games with them. It's going to be a small reunion type thing.
It's a small reunion, and it's nice for that. And it's big. The cruise has gotten a little on the big side, but it's nice because there are lots of the same people that you only see one time per year, or in my case, twice per year. And it's, hey, good to see you. We've gone about our lives. I don't know much about their lives outside of the board game hobby, but we kind of, converge around a common shared interest, and then go our separate ways for 6 months, and then we see each other again the next year. And I like that.
Yeah, that's how it is. And I've been on the cruise for how many years? So it was 2017 was the first one, December, I think.
Okay.
Then it was 2019 February, something like that.
Year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
19 so and 20. We had one 20. In 2020.
So 21 was skipped
due
to COVID. So it's only 3. 4 is 22. 5 is 23. 24 was the 6th one.
24 is this
and now it's my 7th.
Yeah.
24 is
so we had 25 is the 7th. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, which means I'll have 8, because I have one more than you, because I went the first year with just Victor.
Yeah. And then you... did you go to that small thing when it was kind of skipped, but was it something like that?
No, they were going to have one, and then they didn't. That was that was the 2022 one. They were going to have it if they had enough interest, but then they decided to cancel it.
It's going to be my 7th already. Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, because you're one behind. You've gone on all but one.
Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to end on this high note.
That works.
Go prepare for the cruise.
Well, I think I'll go prepare for church, but...
and I'll go prepare some food because I'm hungry.
Very well.
Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Hopefully
All right.
soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.